discovering a library buried beneath the sands of Egypt, books that had remained hidden for over 1,600 years, books containing forgotten sayings of Jesus, mysterious visions, and stories of creation unlike anything found in the Bible. Who wrote these books? Why were they never included in Scripture? And what do they reveal about the earliest Christians? Today, we're uncovering one of the greatest archaeological discoveries in Christian history, and the forgotten books that nearly vanished forever. If you're fascinated by biblical mysteries, hidden history, and the forgotten world of early Christianity, be sure to subscribe to The Forgotten Scroll. Now, let's open the forgotten pages of history.
Chapter 1: Christianity before the Bible.
When most people picture early Christianity, they imagine believers carrying Bibles much like the ones we own today. But that couldn't be further from the truth. For decades after the death of Jesus, there was no New Testament. His teaching spread through oral tradition. Letters were passed from church to church. Accounts of his life circulated among believers. Different Christian communities treasured different writings. Some possessed the Gospel of Matthew. Others read John. Still others preserved books that most Christians today have never even heard of. The first centuries of Christianity were remarkably diverse. Many different groups believed they possessed the authentic teachings of Christ. Some emphasized faith, others emphasized mystical knowledge, what the Greeks called gnosis.
Chapter 2: A Discovery Beneath the Sand.
Everything changed in December of 1945. Near the Egyptian town of Nag Hammadi, a local farmer named Muhammad Ali al-Saman was digging for fertilizer at the base of a mountain when his shovel struck something unexpected: a massive sealed clay jar. Legend says he hesitated before opening it. Some believe jars like these might contain spirits or jinn. Curiosity eventually won. Inside were 13 leather-bound codices, more than 50 ancient writings. Many had never been seen by the modern world. Hidden for nearly 16 centuries, the discovery would forever change the study of early Christianity.
Chapter 3: Forgotten Voices.
Among these books were writings unlike anything most Christians had encountered. Some claimed to preserve secret conversations between Jesus and his disciples. Others described mystical visions of heaven. Some offered entirely different accounts of creation itself. These writings became known collectively as the Nag Hammadi Library, not because they were newly written, but because they had been rediscovered after centuries of silence.
Chapter 4: The Gospel of Thomas.
Perhaps the most famous text was the Gospel of Thomas. Unlike Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, Thomas contains almost no narrative. Instead, it presents 114 sayings attributed to Jesus. Some sound remarkably familiar. Others are mysterious, symbolic, even cryptic. Rather than emphasizing miracles or the crucifixion, Thomas repeatedly speaks about discovering the kingdom within yourself. Many scholars believe parts of Thomas preserved very ancient traditions. Others argued it reflected ideas that developed later. Its exact relationship to the New Testament remains one of biblical scholarship's greatest debates.
Chapter 5: The Gospel of Mary.
Another extraordinary discovery was the Gospel of Mary. Most scholars believe it refers to Mary Magdalene. In this text, Mary receives profound spiritual teachings from Jesus. Afterward, some disciples question whether Jesus would really have revealed such mysteries to a woman. The Gospel portrays Mary not merely as a follower, but as one of Jesus' most insightful disciples. Unfortunately, only fragments of the original text survive, leaving many questions forever unanswered.
Chapter 6. The Gospel of Philip.
The Gospel of Philip is unlike any gospel in the New Testament. Instead of telling stories about Jesus' ministry, it explores symbolism, mysticism, marriage, the soul, and spiritual transformation. One passage mentioning Mary Magdalene has sparked decades of public fascination and debate. Yet scholars caution against reading modern assumptions into an ancient symbolic text. Its primary focus is spiritual union with the divine.
Chapter 7. The Secret Book of John.
Perhaps the most influential Gnostic work discovered was the Apocryphon of John, also known as the Secret Book of John. Here we encounter an elaborate creation story, the divine realm, Sophia, the demiurge, the archons, and humanity's divine spark. This text became one of the foundations of Sessian Gnostic thought. It presents a radically different interpretation of Genesis than the one found in the Hebrew Bible. Whether one accepts its teachings or not, its influence on Gnostic Christianity cannot be overstated.
Chapter 8. Why were these books excluded?
One of the biggest misconceptions is that church leaders simply removed these books from an already completed Bible. History is more complicated. During the first few centuries, Christian leaders gradually recognized certain writings as authoritative, books that were widely used among churches, closely connected to the apostles, and consistent with what became mainstream Christian teaching. Many of the Nag Hammadi writings were composed later than the New Testament books. Others reflected theological ideas very different from those embraced by the emerging Orthodox Church. As a result, they were never included in the biblical canon. Rather than being removed from the Bible, most were never part of it in the first place.
Chapter 9. Why they still matter.
The Nag Hammadi Library transformed our understanding of early Christianity. These forgotten books reveal that the first centuries of the Christian movement were far more diverse than many people realized. They preserved the beliefs, questions, and spiritual searches of communities that history nearly forgot. Whether viewed as sacred writings, historical documents, or windows into ancient religious thought, they continue to fascinate scholars and readers across the world.
History is often more complex than we imagine. Sometimes, the greatest discoveries are not new at all. They've simply been waiting, buried beneath the sands of time. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another journey into the hidden world of history. This is The Forgotten Scroll, where the past is never truly forgotten. Until next time, keep searching.